Hi everyone, and today I am working on a pinafore that I've been developing behind the scenes called the Nora Pinafore. I wanted to create a pinafore design that was slightly different to the usual ones I've made previously, which is with like a ruffled tier kind of style or the gathered skirt. So for this one I thought I would do an A-line silhouette. So I made my toile, wearable toile number 1, which is this denim one here that I'm putting on my mannequin, and it came out really well for my first attempt. I was really pleased with how it draped and the look and the lovely gentle curve of the bodice there. So with that in mind, I thought I would create another one in some corduroy that's been on my shelf for far too long. So I'm just looking at the overall look of the dress before I decide what I'm going to do with the corduroy. You can see me wearing the original denim dress there, and I've got my gorgeous gingham blouse that I'm hoping to pair with this corduroy. I just thought it would make a really lovely festive outfit. So I'm just draping the fabric just to see in my mind if it's something that was going to work for me, and obviously with corduroy I have to take into consideration there's always a nap. So I'm just deciding whether I want the nap to run up or the nap to run down, and generally I usually go for the nap running down the body kind of thing. So the fabric's been laundered, and I laundered it with 2 other corduroys, and it's just literally come out in a lot of fluff. So first things first is to de-fluff the fabric. So you can see a close-up there of my gingham blouse I made. That is the Edith blouse, which will be coming out as a pattern hopefully in 2024. So I'm just pinning it onto the mannequin so I can see from my cutting station, you know, in my mind how I'm going to picture the outfit. It's just kind of giving me inspiration. So I just put the blouse on the mannequin. So as I said earlier, the pattern I created is an A-line style, so it is got a lovely flare, a lovely drape to it, nothing too overstated, just a really delicate feminine flare style pinafore this time round. Something different to the usual gathered skirt or the tiered style skirt. Now on the pattern piece, when I originally drafted it, when I made it, I thought I would add a little bit extra length, so I've just made a note there to add 3 centimetres just to the pattern, and obviously when I create the final version of the pattern, the 3 centimetres will be added, so I won't have to remember to do this. And I'm just marking it with my tailor's chalk. So the pattern only has 4 pieces, obviously the bodice front, the skirt front, the bodice back and the skirt back. The denim one has pockets in, but I just decided I didn't want any pockets in for this one. I just wanted something really simple, really rustic. I wanted as well a rustic kind of look, and that's also one of the reasons why I decided that I was going to bind the arm and the neckline rather than doing a facing or doing a lining. I just wanted to, yeah, like a rustic, cozy Christmas look. That's what I was going for. So the pattern is nowhere near perfect, it's not finished, it's not, I haven't finished developing it, but it's good enough for me to wear. It's, you know, obviously I need to work on it a lot more for it to be ready to be published as a pattern. But for me as an individual, it's absolutely ideal, and I really do love the style. Just something different for a change. And I'm really having a lovely afternoon, just slow sewing, just working on this pattern, or this sample, shall we say. And yeah, really enjoying the process, just enjoying every moment of it. So I'm just making some bias. As I said, I'm going to bind the armholes and the neckline, and I'm going to bind them with the binding over onto the front and then top stitch. I just wanted that look. I've done that look before on previous pinafores, and I really do like the finish on that. But as I say, it's not something I would always do. It depending on the final garment and what I'm aiming for. But as I said, I wanted something rustic, country, cosy style of pinafore, and I just thought this would be the perfect finish. So I'm just cutting out my strips of bias. Again, I've just marked with my tailor's chalk, and the bias strips are 5 centimeters, and I went for the 5 centimeters because I wasn't sure how the fabric would handle in case it started to fray. So I erred on the side of caution and went for the 5. I generally go for 4 centimeters when I'm doing my bias, but as I said, I wanted a lovely finish to the armholes and the neckline, and I wanted a kind of like a chunky finish as well. So that's why I went for the 5 centimeters. But again, it's all an experiment. It's all a process for me. All of this, when I'm working on a pattern or a future pattern, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, me developing it, working on it, toiling over and over, wearable toiles over and over, and this is how I work on my sewing patterns. And as you can see there from the bodice pattern, I have done quite a bit of contouring as well in this design. When you have a neckline and armholes, especially armholes if they don't have sleeves, and a neckline that you've maybe cut into that's deeper or wider, then you have to consider that there could be gaping, and contouring is a method of reducing the risk of any gaping to the neckline or the armholes. So that's why the pattern has quite a lot of lines drawn all over it. So the bodice, literally, as I say, I'm not lining it or anything, so I'm just going to sew the sides and the shoulders, then I'm going to neaten the edges and then work on the skirt pieces. It's a fairly simple make. I'm not always one for changing the thread on my overlocker, sometimes find it a bit of a chore, but today I just thought I wanted to enjoy the process of everything, every part of the dressmaking stage, and changing the thread on my overlocker is one of the parts of the things that you have to do. So I just thought embrace it and don't see it as a chore. The same with pressing. I press all my seams as I go, and it definitely does make a difference to the final outcome of your garment. To, you know, if you press as you go along, neaten everything and just enjoy the whole process rather than seeing it as a chore. Take your time, that's what I did, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So I'm just pinning the binding to the neckline, and I'm doing right side to the wrong side of the bodice because I'm going to flip my binding over on to the outside, like I said before, just for that different kind of finish. I've also clipped and graded the seams just to reduce any bulk, and obviously by clipping the curved of the neckline and the armholes, it makes everything sew neatly and there's no puckering or any pulling, and yeah, it just gives a perfect finish. So that's the bodice complete, armholes and neckline pressed, all finished with the bias trim. So I'm just going on to the skirt pieces, and the both front and back are cut on the fold, just like the bodices. So really simple, there's just two pieces, and I'm just going to sew up the side seams, just neaten the edges and press the seams open. And obviously it wouldn't be a sewing afternoon without my feline supervisor, Geordie. I'll just quickly move the iron out of the way just in case anybody gets singed, and we don't want that. And yeah, he comes to give me a love and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm just pressing up my 2 centimetre hem. So just quickly give my Edith blouse a fresh press there, ready to try on with my gorgeous burgundy corduroy Nora Pinafore. Super pleased with how it's turned out, and I've just had a really lovely afternoon sewing, and I hope you've enjoyed watching me. Hope you found it relaxing, and I shall see you on my next sewing video. Until then, thank you so much for joining me, and bye for now.